you've come back from the Confederations Cup. Can you give us a sense of, on coming back now? I know you're kind of in a bubble at the time. Have you seen any noticeable difference in terms of impact on U.S. soccer, or your feeling, at least in the general public?
Yeah, while I was over in South Africa, I was communicating with, my family, friends through email, and they were telling me about all the coverage it was getting on ESPN, on all, sorts of sports stations, and I was very excited about that. When I came back, I saw glimpses of things here and there. I've done a couple interviews for ESPN that, sometimes that really haven't ever happened before for myself, maybe for soccer in general. So I think there's been a good level of awareness that has risen out of the Confederations Cup. Get to go to the ESPY, so that should be very exciting. The U.S. is up for an award, and so little things like that I've noticed and picked up on that probably haven't really happened in the past. So I think it's been good.
What do you think is going to be the impact of the results from the U.S. team in the Confederations Cup going forward?
I think that the rest of the world will start to watch us a little bit more closely. They won't, maybe they won't consider us such a, kind of team that you'll just come in and, you can get an easy win over us. So hopefully we've proven ourselves a little bit on that scale. I think we got to continue going forward from here, though. In the next upcoming World Cup qualifiers, throughout the rest of the Gold Cup, got to continue to just have that level of excellence, and try to play as hard as you can every game, and not go up one day, down one day. So you got to have some consistency.
Do you think there's kind of an argument that sometimes what's more important for soccer in the U.S. Is it the U.S. national team doing well, and which consists of players in Europe and as well as MLS, or is it a strong domestic league like the MLS?
I think it's a combination of both. When players go overseas and do well and prove themselves against players over there, then it shows well for the United States, and then those guys usually come onto the U.S. national team, and if they keep playing well, then it looks very good. And then also like having a good domestic league where there's healthy competition and guys are playing at a high level every day, it also helps because those guys also get a call up, and it just carries over to a good overall national team.
Has I guess the signing of Gooch to AC Milan, and I know there's a lot of interest in other players, has that helped you and some of the other players who were coming off the bench in terms of your visibility with potentially other teams or outside MLS or et cetera?
Yeah, probably. I mean, those guys are getting very good contracts, good looks at big clubs, and maybe by us playing with those players, the other teams will start taking a look, and hopefully it'll help. But you can only hope for the best.
And what is some of the being still a fairly young player to the U.S. men's national team, but somewhat veteran, since you've played a lot with the team? Can you maybe name one player that people are aware of, but you think might have a breakout, year coming up? And then also somebody we're not as familiar with, someone who's maybe under the radar, but you think that they might be able to step it up and maybe work their way into the national team, et cetera?
Well, someone who's been doing extremely well this Gold Cup is Stuart Holden. He's scored 2 goals in 2 games in the national team. I think he's also been playing very well with his club. I think he's a guy who can, on both of those scales, that not many people know about, but we all know about it from here, and they can, have kind of a breakout, performances and get himself into the mix. So I think he fixed both categories. I don't know.